Hi, my name is Azure, and on this channel, I often channel my guides and ask them questions that many people are wondering the answers to. Today, we are going to ask, what are soul contracts? And so give me a second, I'm going to dial in and we'll see what they have to say. So they're bringing me back to the drafting table that we saw in What is a Soul Plant? And so if you haven't watched that video, you can find it in the same playlist that you're watching now. But they're taking me back to that drafting table. And part of creating and crafting the soul plan is also creating soul contracts. And what soul contracts are, and these are soul contracts, just to be clear, these are soul contracts that you have agreed upon. So both parties have agreed upon these soul contracts. And sometimes a lot of times, or most times, each person is benefiting from the contract. So there is something that each person is going to, it's almost like a tick off, like a check mark on their soul plan. Like they're gonna get something from this relationship. It's a relationship between two people, and it's the contract part means that it has a purpose. And so the purpose could be very brief. It could just be a catalyst to disrupt something within you that is meant to come up and out. It could be a long-standing relationship. It could be a partner, a parent, a family member, a friend, where the relationship is longer and what is meant to happen in the relationship has an outline. And so oftentimes people will come to me and ask me, what is my soul contract, or what do I still need to learn from this relationship with this person? And it'll give insights into what the soul contract is between the two people and how close they are to completing it. Because what happens oftentimes is that we wonder why relationships complete abruptly. And usually why that is, not always, but usually why that is because that contract is complete. And you have learned the lesson, you have completed the contract with that person. And so these are interactions, relationships, encounters with other people that provide an opportunity for you to grow or expand in some way. And that doesn't always mean that the relationships are going to be easy. In fact, many times the relationships are hard, and that is because they are meant to bring up things that need attention, that need help moving through you or completing for you. And so when we can begin to look at people as catalysts for our growth, we can begin to ask ourselves the question, what am I meant to learn from this relationship? And it doesn't necessarily change a hard relationship to an easy relationship, but it does help us shift from victim mentality to a more empowered place. So that is what a general sense of what agreed upon soul contracts are. There are sometimes soul contracts that are not agreed upon, and they're not as frequent, they are not as plentiful. They actually don't want me to go into the non-agreed upon soul contracts at this time. They want me to only stick with the agreed upon soul contracts for the moment. There will be a video eventually that covers the non-agreed upon or one-sided contracts, but they are telling me that I should wait on that. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, So back to the agreed upon contracts. So as you navigate through life, the people that you come in contact with, you have contracted with them to have a certain experience. And so that certain experience is basically predetermined. And yeah, there's some, so that it's very interesting. So this is similar to what they said, I think, with the soul plan, is that so contracts are basically mini soul plans, if you will. So just as kind of like a way to conceptualize, you have like goalposts or set points like you do a soul plan, but they're in the contract. And so within those set points, you have your kind of free will and the decisions you can make to get you to the next set point. So is it going to take you X amount of time or Y amount of time? And so it's like a mini soul plan. And so that means sometimes those people are meant to stay for your whole lifetime. Sometimes those people are meant to be literally someone you bump into on the street. It could be any variety of time that you contract to interact with this person. It could be someone who is a mentor. It could be someone who, I don't know, did a service for you one time and smiled at you in the exact perfect time when you were really sad or upset. There's so many ways that people can show up in your life that is actually purposeful and you don't even know it. And so this is what soul contracts are. There are some people who you have recurring contracts with, or which means they show up in many lifetimes, and we'll talk about that in a separate video, like soul family, people call it. But generally speaking, I think we've covered basically everything for the kind of synopsis of what a soul contract is. So if you have any questions about it, feel free to leave them in the comments, and I can create another video about it. I hope you're having a great day. Take care.